It seems like when Joe Biden was putting together his administration, he looked at California and thought, wow, things are so great out there. Let me just have as many California Democrats as I can. We're talking Kamala Harris, Alejandro Mayorkas, Xavier Becerra, Isabel Guzman. I mean, they're doing a great job, aren't they? Add to that list Julie Su, who is now in line to be the Secretary of Labor. Here, take a look at who she is.
Right, but that's not what I asked. What I asked was, do you think AB 5 is a good law?
I don't know. I don't. Tell me what. Give me a little bit more about what you mean by that.
Do you think it was a good law for the state? Is it good that it passed?
I think that, when AB 5 was first signed, one of the things that I did in my role as Labor Secretary in California was create a we reached out to employers and worked with
My time is running out. I just want to give you one last chance, Acting Secretary Sue. Is AB 5 a good law, yes or no?
I think it's an important role of the government to help employers to comply with laws
yes
that are passed by the legislature.
Is AB 5 a good law?
But also it's important to enforce laws that are passed.
She seems pretty honest and forthcoming, doesn't she? By the way, AB 5 is a law in California that's pretty much devastated the gig economy and freelancers everywhere. They've all moved out of the state because, California Democrats. Joining us now is that Republican, Kevin Kiley. He's in transit, joining us via telephone. Wow, this Julie Su, she's going to be our new Secretary of Labor?
Well, if the president has his way, then yes. We're trying to do everything we can to stop that from happening because she was a total disaster in California, and every indication is that's exactly what she'd be for our country. In fact, in her short tenure as acting secretary, we've already seen a lot of what she brought to California and now starting to infect the U.S. Labor Department.
By the way, if I remember it, I was doing talk radio in California and Los Angeles during the pandemic. I remember there being a huge scandal with outright fraud at the unemployment office, the California Unemployment, EDS, I believe, or forgive me, I can't remember the acronym
The EDD, yeah, and Julie Su was the one who was in charge of that.
Yeah.
And so the blame has been placed squarely on her, not by just, like Republicans, but by the independent state auditor found that her department did not respond and did not follow the steps other states did. And then even the chair of the Assembly Committee, a Democrat, who was charged with overseeing her agency, specifically said that Julie Su did not do a good job with the EDD, and it caused billions of dollars to be wasted. So the idea that this person would now fail up as Joe Biden's cabinet really just boggles the mind. And as you said, it seems that he continues to view California as his economic, or really his model across the board, when our state is the one that people are leaving faster than any state in the country because of how badly these policies have failed.
Also, Congressman Kiley, we've seen the pattern of behavior from this Biden administration. If they can't get something passed legislatively, they just try to go ahead and do it through the administrative state and ask questions later. Are you concerned that she will take the spirit of AB 5 that just guts and thrashes the gig economy, Uber, and all basic freelancing, and just sort of go ahead and do it on her own without the benefit of getting a law passed?
Well, actually, that's already happening. They've introduced a rule in the Department of Labor that basically is designed to approximate AB 5 in as much as possible. And then once it becomes finalized in her hands, we know exactly what she's going to do with it. She's going to do it what she did with AB 5 from California, where you took that law and enforced it as broadly and as aggressively as possible. So this isn't merely speculation. This is literally on the verge of happening. That rule could be finalized any day now. The Senate, in theory, could vote to confirm Julie Su any day now, and then we'd have exactly the scenario that you just described. So that's why it's so important that we stop her from getting confirmed.
Because she's acting secretary right now, you do have the benefit in the House of Representatives of questioning her, as we just saw in that testimony. But is the Senate paying attention here before this confirmation vote? I doubt Joe Manchin would go along with Julie Su in the Department of Labor and other Democrats who are up for re-election next year. What's that looking like?
Yeah, so that's why her nomination has been stalled now for 3 months, over 3 months, is that they don't have the votes. And in fact, Senator Tester from Montana just said yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think it was, that if they don't have the votes, then Biden should pull her nomination. So you have him and Tester and Sinema and maybe one or two others who have not said how they stand on the nomination. And so that's why, they were talking about bringing it up for a vote before Memorial Day, and they didn't because they didn't have the votes they needed. So that's why we just need to continue to make sure it's understood exactly what her record was in California, because I don't think that any reasonable senator would vote to elevate a person with this record.
Yeah, it'd be a disaster. Thank you for leading the charge on this in the House of Representatives and exposing Julie Su and the disastrous policies in California. That's Kevin Kiley from the Golden State. That's it for tonight. We'll be back Monday, same time, same place. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.